I'm Mathilde Høj, and this is SEO in 2025.
Mathilde, what's your number one SEO tip for 2025?
My number one tip is to start prioritizing social search and especially TikTok SEO. We are seeing that users are fleeing Google massively, especially when we are comparing Generation X to Generation C, so the generation just after the baby boomers and before the millennials, comparing them to the younger generation from, I think the age is, or the birth year is 1997 up until 2025? 05, sorry. And these are declining 25% in who searches on Google compared to social platforms, and especially TikTok. So we need to begin catering to that audience as well. And there are multiple touch points in their search journey.
Wow, okay. So you say that users are fleeing from Google to TikTok and I guess other places as well. Why would you say users are fleeing Google? Are they Generation C, as you describe them? Are they not being served? Are their needs not being served by Google?
They are not being served in the way that they don't trust the results that they are getting from Google. When you search for something on Google and you get the search engine result page, you're getting a lot of links and you're getting a lot of meta descriptions and meta titles, and you know it's websites that's trying to sell you something. Whereas when you're searching on TikTok or if you're searching on Reddit, you know it's user-generated content that's giving to you. It's basically your neighbor saying, this product is really good. I want you to buy this lawnmower because I recommend it, as an example. Whereas on Google, it's them trying to sell you something. We're especially seeing with the AIO results, AI overviews, where it was made into this big thing by Google that now we're going to have AI in the results, that it's going to be more trustworthy and a more tailored experience, and every market would get it, and so on and so on. It was made into this big thing, but now what we are actually seeing is Google was not quite ready to launch it or haven't made it to this big thing that it was supposed to be. We're mostly seeing on long tail searches, and it's not coming up as much because users are not trusting it the same way they would trust ChatGPT, for instance.
So talking about AI overviews, I've done a quick search, and the AI overview that I'm reading at the moment about Generation C is that it's not defined by age, but rather by a mindset and online behaviours. Members of Generation C can be of any age, from 10 to 90 years old. I like that.
Yeah, it's a bit funny, AI overviews, because of course it's taken a lot of different information and compile it into what a user wants to read about. But we do work in a marketing mindset with generations, like these boxes that we have to put people in. And the AI answer that you're getting there is very fluffy and very, it can be all, and yeah, a mindset. And
So it can't be all. Would you define it as a certain age range?
yeah, I would, because we can't just tell a baby boomer or a person within that specific age group that they are Gen Z, because how would we make...
So it's impossible for a baby boomer to become Gen C?
Yes, I would say so. I would call that baby boomer, if it's a baby boomer using TikTok, for instance, I would call that baby boomer just being like very proactive on social media platforms and very in the front of their generation, using more platform than just Google, for example, or Facebook. But they're not Gen Z, not in my opinion.
So TikTok, how do you incorporate TikTok into your search strategy?
You have to start optimizing for it. So when you're doing TikTok videos, you have to optimize your videos for it, but you also have to keep search in mind. So optimizing for TikTok search and knowing what users are doing with it and how they're using it. So I talk about 3 different ways users are searching on TikTok. We have the inspirational search, we have the deep learning search, and we have the tactical search. So in the inspirational search, users want to know they want to know a little bit more about a subject or a product or something, a how-to, but they haven't really decided if it's what they want to do. It's more like, oh, I'm thinking about this. Can you give me some inspiration on it? So if I were to clean my oven, how would I do it? But not more than that. It's very top level search. Then we have the deep learning search, which is more like how-tos on YouTube. It's a longer video format. Users really want to deep dive into learning something. How do I knit a sweater? If I want to clean my oven, how would I do it? Which products do I need to use? Do I need to do something more about it than just having a cloth and a cleaning supply? So it's very, very deep learning, very deep into it, watching multiple videos also to get more knowledge on how it could be done in different ways. So they go into this rabbit hole of knowing how to knit a sweater or how to clean an oven, for instance. And then finally, we have the tactical search, which is more like near me searches on Google. So if you know you're going to a city or going to a country, where should you stay in that country? Where should you eat in that city? If you know you want Italian food in London, then searching which are the best Italian restaurants in London and getting all of the user generated results in TikTok. That's how users use the platform to search for.
I love that. So 3 different types of searches on TikTok: inspirational, deep learning, tactical. So very well defined there. Where do they fit into the user journey though? And are there any searches that result in an immediate purchase or call to action?
Sometimes they will result in a conversion, but you have to look at TikTok search and social search in general as a part of a very complex ecosystem for the search journey and buying journey. So what users will do is they will get exposed to maybe a TV commercial or a banner on a website and see your products or get inspiration from something. Then they might go onto your website and read more about it. But if they're not ready to convert yet, they will cross-check your presence on social media platforms, or they might get exposed to your ads on social media platforms. If they find them interesting, begin getting organic content within that. And then maybe go back to your website when they've seen your organic content, or if they search for it on the social platforms and on TikTok, go back to your website and convert, or convert directly in TikTok shop if you have that integration. So it's a very complex search journey. You can't just say, go on TikTok, search for stuff, then convert on your website.
Understood. Okay, so it's about making sure that you've mapped your user journey, you understand what your standard user journey is, mapping then content to that to serve their needs at different points, and ensuring that some forms of content on that journey also include those 3 types of content: inspirational, deep learning, and tactical, that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. But also making sure that you keep in mind that you don't want to make them convert immediately, because if you're doing a sales pitch on a TikTok video, they're not gonna want to convert because they're looking for that user generated content that feels like TikTok content. They're not looking for an ad. So the main goals of TikTok is to create awareness around your products, but not trying to sell them. It's about community building, showing your audience your presence and that you want to engage with them, as well as having them as your third goal engage with you. So it's not about having a certain amount of conversions on your website or having a certain amount of views or rankings or likes and comments and stuff on your videos. It's more about the whole trinity of having awareness, community building, and engagement from them, so they see your brand, recognize it, and know that you want to engage with them, which makes a more trustworthy search experience when they go onto your website and then convert.
Got you. Okay. And one of the key elements of a successful content marketing campaign is to map the correct piece of content to that desire, that need of that user at that moment in time. There's no point in trying to sell them something when they're not quite ready to buy, as you alluded to, but also when they're trying to buy something, make it as easy as possible for them to buy and convert and get all the information that they need at the time. How do you really go about identifying that you are serving the right need at the right time on TikTok? I mean, are there some metrics that you look at? Do you attempt to talk to users just to confirm that you're serving their needs at the right time?
Yes, of course, you can look at the engagement you're getting on videos, because if you're not getting that much of an engagement, if you're not getting any views, if you're not getting any likes or comments, you are doing something wrong. But at the same time, if you are doing a video where a user comments, "Oh, show me more of this," then you can make a stitch of that video. So it shows the comment in the video you're answering to, and then show more of that type of content. It's difficult to say, "Oh, we know we have this need from a user. We have to serve them this type of content." It's more like showcasing what content is already popular on your website. Can we make that popular on TikTok as well? But serving it in different formats and in different rabbit holes. So when that specific user who has a very tailored For You page and a very tailored algorithm, when they get that, it's because it's meant to hit them at that certain point in their scrolling journey.
So how do you optimize for TikTok? How do you make it more likely that your video is going to appear in TikTok?
You want to make sure you're targeting the correct keywords. So making sure that you are tapping into the rabbit holes that users are within. So if they want to learn more about financing, making sure that you hashtag financing, but also making sure that you incorporate the text and the keywords in your video description, in the captions you're using, in the subtitles. If you're saying something out loud, making sure that you say financing, for example, but also utilizing your videos on site. So if you are selling contact lenses, colored contact lenses for Halloween, but you also want to promote eye health, making sure that if you have a TikTok video that's showing how you put in contact lenses without giving them an infection, that you have to do it before putting on makeup, for example, putting that guide on your website and then embedding your TikTok video and also publishing on YouTube as well, you really get that entity of your brand on both social platform and the two biggest search engines in the world at the same time, and making sure you are sending the users the correct signal around who you are and who you want to be.
You say publishing on YouTube as well. Do you just publish the same videos on YouTube, or ideally would you publish slightly different, maybe long form videos on YouTube?
You can post it on YouTube Shorts, so it's basically just a copy of the one on TikTok. You can do that because Google will almost always promote their own channels instead of other channels. So they're more likely to promote YouTube videos and YouTube Shorts compared to TikTok videos. But if it is a deep learning video, you will receive a much better ranking on it if you do it in the normal YouTube format. So in the widescreen format, and really have the deep learning with the playlist, put it on a playlist, have sections that users can scroll to, and make it a really good optimized YouTube video instead for the deep learning searches.
Should brands be using AI to create videos?
If they don't have the resources to do it without AI, then yes, but it's always a good idea to tag that you're using AI for it so the users don't feel like they're being misled. If you are a skincare brand, for example, that is promoting a foundation or something like that, a certain type of makeup, you want to try it on a model, but you don't have a model and want to create a video using AI, you have to label it, because users looking for makeup tips want that real experience and want to see how that makeup performs on real people, not AI people who will make it look much better than it might actually be. So you can use AI, but be mindful about it. Like in all things, be mindful about using AI.
If an SEO is struggling for time, what should they stop doing right now so they can spend more time doing what you suggest in 2025?
They should stop having this quantity over quality mentality, especially in content creation across all platforms, essentially. For me, it's really important that to create valuable content on your website that you can promote on your social platforms. It's really important that you work on your topic clusters and you work on using AI if you don't have the time for creating content, but then quality checking yourself, but also making sure that your content lives up to these EEAT criteria instead of just pushing huge amounts of content onto your website. That won't help you.
I won't cut it anymore. Mathilde Høj is SEO manager at Transact Denmark, and you can find her over at omctransact.dk. Mathilde, thanks so much for being part of SEO in 2025.
Thank you.
I've been your host, David Bain. Get your copy of SEO in 2025, the book, over at seoin2025.com.